Okay, rounding out our media availability this morning at New Hampshire is Kyle Busch. He drives the number 18 M&M's Peanut Butter Toyota this weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing. He is second in points. He's got 4 wins on the season. And, Kyle, you got to feel good about how you started off the chase last week and the position you find yourself this weekend here at New Hampshire.
Certainly. It's a lot better to start off, wins, top 5s, top 10s than further on back. So we know last week was the second place, but as far as points are concerned and everything else, it's not the time to look at any of that or to worry about any of that. So for ourselves, I don't know where I am. I don't want to know where I am, but I think it'll all take care of itself when it comes down to crunch time. And the better you can perform and do on Sundays, then it's going to take care of itself a lot easier.
Questions now for Kyle Busch. We'll start with Alan, Ed, and then Dustin.
Alan Cavana, NASCAR.com. I saw some of your comments yesterday. I just wanted to follow up. To see a sponsor actually leave MWR like it did, what was your reaction to that? Because I know you commented you've been close to that, or at least maybe in trouble with your sponsor before. What was it like to see them actually leave a sport like this?
Well, I think it's it's a little disappointing, I think, on behalf of all the drivers, teams, race fans, and in general, because, as far as we're all concerned right now, it's a tough economy or a tough sport to try to pick up sponsors and bring them on in. And we know how important all of them are, and especially for me with M&M support, obviously I've got a huge following there with the family and the representatives from Mars Incorporated and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun to have those guys on my side and to have the support that I do from them, which makes my job a lot easier. And even through the tough times we've had, that they still stand behind me, and we've done a lot of great things on and off the racetrack together since. But it's frustrating. There's a lot of race fans that sometimes voice their opinion about there not being enough competitive cars each and every week and whatnot, but yet they'll send in their comments to sponsors that they shouldn't sponsor that team or they shouldn't sponsor that driver because of some of the things that happen on the racetrack. And all that does is drive sponsors away from our sport. So, it's not a good thing to be doing those sorts of things.
Let's go with Ed Hinton, Dustin Long, Claire B. Lang, and Rich.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Kyle, you said you didn't want to know where you were, but bottom line, you and Matt stand pretty. I mean, you're at the top, and that's where we usually see Hendrick Motorsports cars in years past. That if there was going to be 2 at the top, has JGR at this point, is JGR advanced ahead of Hendrick Motorsports, do you think?
I don't know. That's a tough question to ask. I think the sport goes in circles all the time. You see a lot of teams that prosper and do really well, and then they sort of go back on their downswing. And sometimes you see them, they hit bottom or whatnot, or if it's a circle graph or if it's a line graph, you can always see it going up and down. But like a roller coaster, I think it happens to every team. And whether or not we're on top, I don't think that's an answer that can be written until after Homestead.
And also, where was it, Atlanta, you mentioned that the 48 team could just flip a switch. Last week, yeah, they came back from a real tough time, but have they begun to flip that switch in your eyes?
Yeah, last week they ran fine. In my eyes, I thought they had a really, really fast race car there at the start of the race. They took off, and I was running second to them, and they left me. And so they certainly had speed. And then we had the rain delay, and we came back at night, and it seemed like our car got better at night, which obviously too. Jimmy, I think, had some pit road issues a couple times, and he got back in traffic, but then was able to drive back up through and I think got as high as third again. So if that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what is. But I thought that was pretty impressive to be able to do that, and when all of us keep talking about how tough it is to pass out there sometimes.
Let's go to Dustin, Claire B. Lang, and Rich.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. Kyle, last week, first race with the restart procedures since changed. what was it like? What did you think about that? And might there be challenges since it's on a smaller track here, tighter corners? What kind of challenges might that present?
Well, I think we saw that last week. It was the first restart where I had the opportunity to beat Jimmy, and I thought it was fine. I mean, it really didn't change the outcome of who the leader was through turn one, just because Jimmy got a good side draft on me and got alongside of me through 1 and 2. Later in the race, however, I feel like nothing really changed. I beat Kenseth to the line there on that last restart, and then he just got a push from Harvick to get by me. But, that could probably happen here at Loudon. You can have guys that are lined up side by side, and one row push somebody harder than the other row, and that row taking advantage getting into turn one. So it can be certainly important to who's behind you and what all's going on in your rearview mirror. Rather than exactly what lane choice you need or want.
So nothing's changed in that sense? That's kind of an important test.
Yeah, but I think now, as soon as the rag drops, the guy in the second row can push. It doesn't matter. You don't have to wait until after the line to push. You can push right away and get that line moving, and get an advantage.
Let's go to Claire and then with Rich.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. A lot of the callers are saying that they're noticing in you that you feel as comfortable as ever in this chase. If you look back to other times you have, tried to work your way into the chase or have felt like you're running for a championship, do you feel within yourself that you're more prepared for it now?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that last year was a big learning year for us. We obviously missed the chase, so had a pretty devastating August, September, and then when we missed the chase, we came in with the mentality to run the rest of the year hard and to try to prepare ourselves and put ourselves in our own little chase to see if we could compete. And we did that. We competed well. We ran up front in Chicago last year. I think we finished 3rd or 4th, and then here we ran well. We had an engine problem, and throughout the chase we had a lot of really good runs. So that all put us in the sense that we can do this. It's not rocket science. We know how to race. We know how to run up front. And when the pressure is on the line, obviously that situation is going to be a little different. But we need to act as though the pressure isn't on the line, or to just be able to do what we've done all year long that's got us to this point in the first 26 races. So that's where we're at right now. It's not time to turn up the heat quite yet, I don't feel, and that's just because it's like you read a lot into what other drivers have to say as well too, and I think Jimmy Johnson's one of the best because he's done it 5 times, but he's a very good predictor when it comes to figuring out where everybody's at after Talladega, and then the final races thereafter, you pretty much eliminate a guy each week, and it comes down to 2 or 3 in Homestead.
Final question, Rich.
Kyle, Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Matt Kenseth just said that you, and Denny bring different qualities to JGR Racing. And my question is just, what are Matt's qualities, and how do they complement yours?
His have a lot to do with cheese. Just kidding. I tried to be cheesy there, but it didn't quite work. Kenseth, we all do have our own different mentality about how to describe what's going on with our car and our feel and everything. And Kenseth is he's very knowledgeable. I mean, he's a great race car driver. We've known that. I think that's why we went to him and talked to him and asked him to come over and join our team. And he's had a good sense this year of being able to adding to our program and knowing what to add, whether it's been the engine stuff or chassis stuff or what he's felt with his cars in years past and what our cars do differently, better or wrong. And so it's like when I came over from Hendrick, I had the same thing. I was like, well, we did it this way, we did it this way, we did it this way. So we learned from some of those, and some of the others we threw away, and the same thing we're doing with Matt. And I think it just adds to the volume of our team, just knowing some of the principles that other race teams have and what they do to make themselves better. So as far as being able to exactly tell you what all he brings, it's tough to do because it's just about communication, talking, and working through our meetings. That's the biggest time where you get the biggest sense of what people bring.
Kyle, thank you for coming in. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.